The most important topic is the temporomandibular joint, a subject that I will be talking about today, and I'll tell you what to expect. We'll discuss why the temporomandibular joint is important for our health, and we'll even do a little self-diagnosis to see what condition it's in. We'll figure out how it affects your body, what it tells us from a psychosomatic perspective, and today we'll do a practical exercise together so that each of you can see what it's connected to in your own case. How does that plan sound to you? Give me a thumbs up. Today is going to be as useful as possible. So, since I came to Psychosomatics from bodywork practices, I worked as an osteopath and an applied kinesiologist. People would come to me with all sorts of pains, something pulling here, something hurting there, nerve inflammation, or something else, using various procedures. And even back then, I learned about the role and influence of the temporomandibular joint. For example, someone comes in with lower back pain, or maybe intercostal neuralgia, headaches, ringing in the ears, insomnia, some kind of anxiety, foot problems, or flat feet. People would come in with all sorts of complaints, and if I found a spasm in the temporomandibular joint, I could spend an entire hour working just on that area, on those muscles, and the person would completely relax. Their feet would straighten out, their neck would align, and the person would fully recover. All of that could be done in just 1 hour. For some people, that might be shocking. What does the temporomandibular joint even have to do with it? Where is it? And what do feet, the neck, or the head have to do with any of this? But the thing is, our body is designed as a single whole, and everything is closely interconnected. If we don't know this, if we don't understand it, then it doesn't mean anything. I'll talk about headaches and dizziness in a moment as well. So, the temporomandibular joint itself is actually very small. Soon, we'll be diagnosing it together. We have our chewing muscles here. And if this area is blocked, which we'll also discuss the reasons for today. What happens then? First, there's a misalignment of the bite. By the way, if anyone has bite problems, wave your hand and let me know what kind. A misalignment of the bite, a bite imbalance, occurs. The craniosacral rhythm gets blocked. You know, osteopaths talk about this. We have bones that move, that are supposed to be mobile. They need to breathe. But if, for some reason, a blockage happens here, the entire craniosacral rhythm gets disrupted. This can lead to swelling, nerve inflammation. It could even be, as a primary cause, inflammation of the trigeminal nerve. Well, it's not just inflammation. That's already the acute phase, so to speak. But if there's a blockage, it can affect the trigeminal nerve, and from there we can get headaches, shooting pains, or even problems with the ears, like a feeling of stuffiness. There might also be issues with balance, like when I don't really feel stable. I have a bit of dizziness, or feel disoriented in space. All of this can be a problem with the temporomandibular joint. There's also the issue of bruxism, when at night we grind our teeth like this, because this area is already blocked, and at night the body wants to release tension, but as a result, the tension just gets even worse. So, bruxism doesn't happen when these muscles are relaxed. That means the spasm here has been around for a long time. And the saddest part is that the temporomandibular joint actually shuts down the first and second cervical vertebrae. Well, it doesn't exactly shut them down. I'm not saying it quite right. Everything still works, everything's fine, but compensation happens. And then there's overstrain here, and the axis of the entire spine is lost, because the spine is a single whole. Especially the first, second, and third vertebrae, because these are the areas where the dura mater attaches, and our muscles here are tense. And then, our neck is in a state of chronic tension, and people keep massaging their necks, trying to do something about it. But the real cause might actually be here, and if you don't relax this area and get it working again, the neck and shoulders will stay tense all the time. Why is it compensatory? Actually, our body is a system like this. Everything is interconnected. Tension here means tension elsewhere. Blood supply in the neck gets disrupted, both the venous outflow and the arterial inflow. What do these stagnant processes lead to? Think about it yourself. Our brain's blood supply gets compromised, and God forbid something else happens. I won't scare you, but all of this actually has an impact. It affects the function of the diaphragm and the gastrointestinal tract.
Why?
Because they're innervated. The vagus nerve, which passes right here through the posterior condyles, and so if there's tension here, it gets blocked. And a person might spend a long time treating their stomach, treating their GI tract, you name it. Doing something, but the real problem is actually here, in this area, because the vagus nerve is constantly being irritated, right? This also affects the function of the sacrum, because if it stops working properly, the first, second, third, right here, there's an imbalance, a compensatory effect, then the first, second, and third from the bottom, right, the sacrovertebrae, are also affected. Also, because of this, our pelvis gets misaligned, and as a result, the feet become misaligned too. In other words, the body gets overstrained, so that's why you have lower back problems and issues with a protruding belly. Yeah, it might seem like the problem is here, but this is how our whole body reacts. If this resonates with you, wave your hand or put a plus sign in the chat if you get it now, okay? The ability to turn your head left and right gets blocked, right? It would seem that our head should turn equally and easily, with no restrictions at all. But if it's tight here, if it's blocked here, that's it. There will already be misalignment. Certain issues will start to appear. This is important. I remember, you work with this muscle, you relax it. If you also try it psychosomatically, the whole body becomes soft, the whole body relaxes. And today, together with you, we're going to do this practice. You'll see how your body changes. So let's quickly go through it together. What are the consequences? Chronic headaches, pain in the jaw, ears, neck, teeth grinding, bruxism. It only gets worse. Hearing loss, ringing in the ears, dizziness, yes, all because the entire function is disrupted. Limited range of mouth opening, yes, and that also has an impact. You chew poorly, you digest poorly. The body's axis is disrupted, yes, and the function of the entire spine is affected. Dysfunction of breathing rhythm. Again, this is because of the vagus nerve, which gets blocked here, disrupting the work of the gastrointestinal tract. And all of this affects the whole body. Then tension points appear in the body, so-called trigger points, which actually compensate for the body's existing dysfunctions. Is that clear? Thank you for saying it out loud right away. Yes, it cracks. There is pain. Let's reinforce this topic about the body. I suggest we do. A small test. I wanted to stand up. Let's do it in 2 ways. Option number 1. Your teeth just like this. You don't need to clench them tightly, just your teeth. They're simply together. Teeth. And now turn your head left and right. Teeth together. And just observe the range of motion. Slowly turn and see how far you can go. How your neck turns. Did you notice? Now let's relax these muscles. Let's relieve the tension and load from them. You just need to open your mouth. And also turn left and right. Well, the difference is huge. My ear even started to twist. Try this little test. Do it right down if you feel the difference. If you do right now. So you can see how this affects your body. If you have the chance to stand up, unlike me, go ahead. Just stretch your arms out to the sides and turn to one side, then to the other. But keep your feet in place. With your mouth closed. And with your mouth open. Go ahead and try this test. Unfortunately, the room here doesn't allow me to do it. If anyone doesn't notice a difference, try it again. Trust me, the difference is huge. When I did things like this, it was just crazy. I would ask someone to simply open their mouth. And as soon as they opened it, they could lift their leg up, even though just a second ago they couldn't. Yes, there's a difference. If you don't feel it, try again. You're releasing tension once more. Open up. Pay attention, yes. Now, the next point. Let's take a look at how the jaw opens. You'll need to do this slowly now. I'll explain first, then we'll do it together. We're just going to open our mouths, and you'll observe how it opens. Does it go straight down right away? Or is there some kind of movement first? You need to notice whether the movement is smooth. Or maybe it turns to one side first, or it does something else. Yeah, so here you really need some sensitivity. Just observe how your jaw opens slowly. Notice it and write it down too. So is it slow, even, and smooth, or are there some other movements? If there are, that already indicates some instability. Tamara writes, there's a big difference. Good job, Tamara. Tamara says, there is sensitivity. That's definitely my student. Are you doing it? Do you feel your body? Write down your sensitivity level, 1 to 10. How much do you feel it? So if there's a click, that means there's already different tension, and decompensation is happening. Well done. These are just some small tests to help you observe yourself. What do these muscles actually tell us from a psychosomatic perspective? And here, blockage can happen. Yes, sometimes it's mechanical. Maybe you were in a car accident, a crash. I don't know. Someone hit you with a crowbar, or there was a fight or something. Of course, there are mechanical reasons, but in 90% of cases, guys, it's purely psychosomatic. Why? Because these are the muscles that are responsible for our emotions and reactions in life. I'm going to talk now about what kinds of conflicts happen here, and you go ahead and write right away whether this is about you or not, okay? Click it, yeah. First, it goes to the right? Slightly to the left, yeah. Good job. Pop it out on the left. So, the first thing you need to understand is that this is the lower jaw. In general, our jaw is connected to control, self-control, restraining oneself, aggression, and fear. To express yourself, to show yourself, to say something, right? Let's talk about the most important conflicts. So, the first one, it's the inability to express yourself. To bite, to hold on, to defend yourself. Biologically, we need teeth. Not so that they're white, or so that we have beautiful ones, but so we can defend our boundaries, protect our territory, assert ourselves, right? So we can, in a good way, bite back. So we have inner strength and pride in that. But if there's a sense of powerlessness, like, I can't do it, and a feeling of guilt, then a block happens. These muscles start to tense up. So what are these moments in life? What is this state? I can't say what I really want to say. I put up with it. I'm afraid I'll be judged. I won't be understood. Or things will somehow get worse for whatever reason. I have to keep my mouth shut. I'm not allowed to speak. I don't have the right to express myself, to stand up for myself. Am I important or not? Do I have the right to speak or not? I want to bite. Well, what does it mean to bite? It's not really about going and biting someone on the butt, although maybe someone wants to. but can't. Most often, it's about pushing back, saying no, standing up for your boundaries, not betraying yourself. Who here relates to that? So I want to, meaning I have this strength, but I forbid myself. There's some kind of rule about showing aggression, defending your boundaries, saying no, being yourself. You have some kind of belief like that, right? Or I want to defend my boundaries, but I can't. No strength, no opportunity. I don't know how. It's like this inner frustration that I can't do anything. And here, of course, what suppressed emotions are there? Suppressed anger, rage, fear of being punished for what you said, or fear for showing aggression. So, it turns out, a person like this wants to bite, they've got these fangs, but they have to be good. So on the outside, they're like this little angel, smiling, but inside everything is just clenched up, because it's not real. There's a disconnect. What I show to the outside world and what I actually feel are different. They're different. Who here relates to this? And you might say, Vadym, well, obviously, it's impossible in our world to always say what you feel. If we did that, how would we even live? Yes and no. You have to be honest with yourself, because we often even lie to ourselves about what we really feel, about what's really going on with us, right? That's why I can't bite back, can't defend my boundaries, can't speak up for myself. You have to keep up appearances, you have to be proper, you can't allow yourself to show weakness. So it's all about control, about suppressed emotions. If we're talking about sides, we can say that if the right side is tense, it's like a conflict with the masculine side. Father, men, authority figures. This can be connected to control, action, aggression. In other words, you can't dad suppress things somewhere along the way. The left side, we might assume, doesn't work that way. Not 100%, but we can look in that direction. With the feminine side, it's mom, it's your partner, it's emotions, it's self-expression, it's more about feelings. I can't express my feelings, I can't be myself. On that side, it's about controlling tension. Here, on the contrary, it's about feeling. And so, we end up with this vicious cycle. Suppressed feelings, emotions, muscle spasms in the body, tension in the body. A signal goes to the nervous system that I'm tense, even more tension, even more spasms, and it just keeps winding a person up more and more in a loop. Yeah, the same thing with Bruxism, when I'm tense, right? When I'm grinding down the problem, meaning I don't accept it in my life, but at night, when I sleep, I literally try to. Grind it up, chew it over, or say something, or somehow express it, right? Now look here, you say, it doesn't make any difference. No difference means you don't have tension in those muscles. Well, only about 1% of the population doesn't have that tension on Earth, so, well, you have to check, alright. So, once again, self-expression, showing yourself, suppressing aggression, being controlling, putting on some kind of mask and not being yourself, plus the fear that there might be some consequences. All of this actually blocks our lower jaw. And now we're going to do something like this. Neck problems can also be related to this. And now we're going to do a practice together. I want each of you to see yourself from the outside. What state are you in? What are you really living in? What is blocking your body? So first, well, I just can't stand up. If only I could stand up, spread my arms to the sides and twist. We would do that together, but let's try it with the neck. Yes, just keep your teeth together and simply check the range of motion of your head in this direction. And a tilt. While some of you are doing the test, already turning your head, etc. So I just thought of this to help track things. Now look first, how do I feel right now? At this moment. On a scale from 1 to 10, how safe do I feel? 10 is complete safety. 1 is no safety at all. Second, what am I thinking about right now? Where are my thoughts flowing? What emotion am I feeling right now? And how relaxed is my body right now? 10 means completely relaxed. 1 means not relaxed at all. So do this self-diagnosis for yourself right now. See, boss, isn't that good? Go ahead and do this self-diagnosis right now. How relaxed is your body? 1 is not relaxed. 10 is completely relaxed. Good. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Another deep breath in. And exhale. Now focus your full attention on your body. Imagine a magical golden ray. It enters through the top of your head and moves forward, backward, left, and right. Yes, as if the ray is spreading throughout your whole body. This is your attention, your intention. And now, we're interested in the temporomandibular joint. So, with your attention, focus on this joint. You are your joint, and nothing else exists, nothing else matters. You are your joint. Go there with your attention. And first, notice how you feel it. Does it feel soft, like a cloud or a feather? Or, on the contrary, is it hard, like a stone? Or maybe something else, just your first sensation. Deep breath in. Exhale. How do I feel my joint? Second, what emotions is my joint blocking? Is it anger? Is it fear? Is it resentment? Is it aggression? Or is it something else? Which emotion is it? Deep breath in. Exhale. Did you feel which emotion it is? Next step. What is this about in my life? What does this relate to in my life? Is it about work? Is it about family? About relationships? Is it about my parents? Is it about me? About my connection with myself? Or is it about something else? Track that. What is it that I want to do but can't? Where is there fear? Where are there problems? Now take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, breathe out those emotions. So, that's the kind of practice we'll do together. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, let go of those emotions. Deep breath in. Exhale. Now imagine a golden ray of light entering through the crown of your head and flowing completely into your joints. It fills your left joint and your right joint. Take a deep breath in through the crown of your head, absorbing the light. As you exhale, fill your joint with the light. Inhale, absorbing through the crown of your head. Exhale, filling the joint with light. Inhale through the crown of your head. Exhale, breathe in the light into the joint. Let's do 10 deep breaths together. I'm with you. I'm helping you. We'll get through this together. We're a big team. And into the joint. And into the joint. And into the joint. And light into the joint. And say the following phrase. I matter. I am important. My feelings and emotions matter. I matter. I am important. My feelings and emotions matter. And imagine a golden light appearing inside the joint, beginning to unfold. And we'll help it. Imagine how, literally and metaphorically in your life, you start to speak up, to bite back, in the good sense of the word, to get angry, to allow yourself to sing, to allow yourself to dance. In your imagination, picture yourself shouting, biting, getting angry, dancing. You start to feel an inner strength, and you want even more. Go ahead, do it, each of you in your own imagination. Do it right now. And we know that this is very beneficial for our bodies. These kinds of exercises, these kinds of practices. Take 3 deep breaths in and out, and let yourself go. Everyone does what they want. Inside, you give yourself permission. Good, good, good. And now, once again, feel your joints. What has changed in them? What metaphor comes to mind now? What kind of light? What feels new right now? Feel your entire body right now, on a comprehensive scale from 1 to 10. How truly relaxed and at ease is your body? What exactly has changed or shifted within you? Notice how incredibly safe and secure you feel at this very moment. What's distinctly different in that particular regard? What new, perhaps unexpected, emotions and profound feelings have come up for you? And now, let's do a test together. Remember your teeth. Let's turn our heads together, to the left and to the right. It's become so much easier for me to move, right? And now, let's open our jaws as well. Wow, mine is totally even now, super even. Write in the comments what exactly has changed for you right now. So, we've just done a short, quick practice together. What has changed? What is different? Ludmilla was hissing. Is that right, Ludmilla? That's right. You need to repeat this practice several times. Why did you all go quiet over there? Yeah, Natasha, I didn't finish what I was saying. Of course, you do the practices, so there's no difference. Something changed. The left side relaxed. There's more freedom. Did you notice? Neck turns. Jaw movement. What changed? You need to keep hissing, Ludmilla. Right after the stream, try growling. The tension is still there. I'm not asking what stayed the same. I'm asking what changed. Did anything change or not? Olechka wrote that her hands feel lighter, right? You think, what do hands have to do with the jaw, right? But that's how it works. We focused our attention on one joint. That's exactly how psychosomatics work for us, friends. I just showed you the joint. So before you start forcing it, before you start torturing it, doing something to it, messing with it, because I know a lot of people come in and say, someone put this thing on me here. Guys, you need to treat your head first, yeah? You need to work on psychosomatics, on your emotions and feelings, because there are all sorts of techniques, all sorts of methods. But if you're stressed, if you're anxious, if fear is gripping you, that's it. It's a complete waste of time. You need to understand that. If you agree with me, give it a thumbs up. Yeah, the body relaxed. The joint on the left is soft, like clay. But the neck turns deeper, further now. See how well it worked for Natasha? Alia writes, it's amazing. My neck stopped cracking and now moves easily in all directions. Yeah, we did the practice for 5 minutes. Look how the joint changed. And what if you do the practice for a month? And what if you do the practice for 3 months? And what if you do the practice for a year? I get it, not everyone. Maybe you did well in algebra and math, but the progress here will be huge. So before you do anything, before you fall into a victim mindset or start thinking you can't do it or you're just unlucky, you need to start working on yourself, friends. And right now, let me remind you, there's a unique opportunity to join my training programs at the best prices, because Vadym's birthday is on the 10th. And for my birthday, I want to open up and give. That's why I'm offering you the best possible terms so you can join and get results. The core module, the foundation, is that you learn how to analyze your current state, right here and now, in the moment. That's why issues with your veins, problems with your spine, or really any issues with your body get resolved, because you learn how to release all of that from your body. You start to understand how emotions enter the body, how to prevent this, and how to heal what you already have. In the Family Psychosomatics module, you work through all your issues with your parents, your family line, and childhood traumas. This is the base, the foundation of your personality. When I don't feel loved, when I always owe everyone when I live. For others, that's all a childhood script. This canon should be worked through. You need to move past it. With the body system, we go through all the organs, all the systems, all the diseases. You do both prevention and work through current illnesses. Childhood psychosomatics. We work through our children so that they are healthy. We want our children to be truly healthy, but also, there's the psychosomatics of money. This is already about working with inner confidence, with financial blocks, with that drive to achieve. In life. In the best sense of the word, so that you have everything in life. Wealth, health, happiness, and success. Yes, you can get all these modules at the best prices. There will be information about the prices for the modules and for the annual program. The very best prices. And for those who want to come to me to get a diploma, and also the combo, which is not usually available and won't be in the future. When you can get the basics of Rote plus 3 systems. There's no such combo anywhere else, so make sure to follow the link, girls. My team will consult you specifically for your needs, to figure out exactly which programs you need to solve your issue. They'll help you with the lessons and with the programs too. Plus, for this promotion, I've made a unique offer. Some of you can get a consultation with me for free. Actually, 2 consultations with me, not just one, absolutely free. There's also a consultation with my curators. So join in. It's only going to be interesting until the 10th. Don't miss out, because after that, everything will go back to normal. If you have any questions, I'm completely open right now and ready to answer about the promotion, my school, psychosomatics, or anything else that's on your mind or worrying you. Go ahead. So Olechka writes, thank you. Who is joining livestream first time? Who practiced first time? Share your thoughts. How was it for you? Oh, Galina writes, I got an answer to a question I couldn't find before. The answer is 18 years. Thank you, Vadym. Wow, Galina, now I'm intrigued. What was the answer? Share it with us, we're curious. Here, Alexander writes, my sense of safety went up to 8. It used to be at 2. Wholeness, just soft, calm, gentle throughout the body, communication. The state has become so much better. Look, see, how often do we live in anxiety? Something overwhelms us. You can't sleep. You can't eat. Something in your life is bothering you. And you think, oh God, do I need those pills or is there just something really wrong with me? You start to get upset, disappointed in yourself, but then you do a 5-minute practice, and it's like your whole life has changed. But that's awesome, just 5 minutes. Practice. Well, again, it's just so universal. But if we work through it specifically, when you go deep and process your fear, your anxiety, your aggression, some kind of blockage, that program will go away. That's it, and you start living a different life. Your joints work differently, your spine works differently, you work differently. Right. But I don't have it yet, Natasha Dirovdinia, on the 10th. You're in a hurry. It's a special offer in honor of the birthday. So, Anastasia, when you turn your neck, it radiates between your shoulder blades. What does that mean? Well, it means that whole area is tense. Blocked, right? There's a sense of powerlessness in life, a so-called conflict. The most priceless thing is when I can't do something and blame myself. Maybe I've taken on too much responsibility. Most likely, Oksana, this is about you. Either I can't look in a certain direction, or I've taken someone on my shoulders. Who am I dragging along? My husband, my dad. Come on, confess while we're still live. What's going on with you? So, Anastasia, Vadym is worried about the left side of his body at the level of the heart. Like his heart hurts, his chest, his left shoulder blade. Where should he look? Well, as I understand it, your heart is actually fine. This is intercostal neuralgia, right? Did I get that right? The left shoulder blade, yes, that's a spasm of the respiratory muscles. What's the state here? Well, again, you write left side of the body. Do you mean the left side of the chest? If I understood correctly, right? This is the state of powerlessness. So again, there's some kind of fear, something in life. Something could have happened, or might happen. I'm afraid I won't make it in time, and that's causing anxiety. So, Anastasia, what in your life right now is keeping you up at night? There's some kind of anxiety, and you feel like you don't have enough time. Something is going on with your loved ones. I don't know, but there's this sense of worry, and this feeling of unease and fear that squeezes you. And on top of that, it's not just fear, but panic. What is this about? Is it something going on with your family? Write to us, Anastasia. Is there something coming up for you? Can tooth extraction cause clicking sounds? Of course it can. In general, any organ that's removed affects our body. Someday, we'll do a live session on this topic. For example, when you come to my body system sessions, I actually have a separate practice specifically for working through tooth extractions and certain surgeries. Because psycho-emotional tension remains, and it twists up your whole body. Anastasia, did that resonate with you or not? You wrote in a way that made me want to elaborate further. I really need to have a conversation with you. I mean, it's not like... I don't want to give you a generic answer. I want to show and highlight something unique for each person. So, blood pressure. Is that psychosomatic or not? That's a very good question. Actually, even many doctors and therapists say that high blood pressure isn't really a disease at all. First of all, it's tension in the blood vessels. That's why you get a stiff neck. When your whole body is tense and blocked up, it will start causing heart problems. It's the same with blood pressure. Why? Because the blood vessels are constricting. That's why you can't relax. John, you can't relax? Tell me, please, what's that bug, that cockroach in your life, that king cockroach, that's not letting you relax? That's the first thing. The second is what I mentioned before. How about your diagnosis, by the way, of the temporomandibular joint, which affects our whole body? So first, this condition might be compensatory. You really need to work with your body, release the tension from your body, and unload these mental programs. Second, if we're talking specifically about psychosomatics, the first conflict is the loss of something vital, like family. Love, right? Some part of the family, my space, my territory, my place where I am loved. I lost that, so to speak, because for us, the heart is like our family, our home, the hearth where we are loved and awaited, or it can go the other way. And the second point is, if I'm a sensitive person, I take everything to heart, like with children, for example. If my relatives have a problem, I take it all upon myself, as if I'm somehow to blame. I'm always getting anxious. My anxiety kicks in. People with heart issues are usually very anxious people. And you know, here's an example for you. If you go for a run or lift some weights, your blood pressure spikes, of course. It's the same in life. This burden of responsibility, when I can't handle it, leads to the same result, you know? So, how can you help yourself? Anastasia writes here, yes, what resonated with her is that I'm always jumping in. How can you help yourself in this situation? The pain is really worrying you. Of course, Anastasia, of course it worries you. Your body is already screaming at you right now. It's a wake-up call, you know, that you need to do something, and it won't resolve itself on its own. And right now, it's still possible to turn everything around, to completely change things. What do you need to do? First, learn to understand your own state. What am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? Who is this connected to, right? Understand what a conflict is, and why emotions manifest in the body. Work through these conflicts. Learn how to deal with stress, which I have a lot of in my life right now. I teach all of this in the basics course. It's not just one practice or one lecture. It's 6 weeks of work. You work with a mentor, you work with my lectures, with my practices, which I'll give you to download later. You come in and develop this skill. So for a whole month, you learn to work with your stress so that this skill becomes ingrained in you. This is the bare minimum you need to start with. So go ahead and take advantage of the special offer right now under the best conditions. And the girls will also consult you on what exactly will work best for you. Is that clear? Because what's happening to you right now, Anastasia, isn't just some random thing. It's where you lost touch with yourself, right? And your husband's job, well, there you go. That's why everything feels overwhelming, on the one hand. Where else do you feel like I'm a bad wife? And then there's this sense of responsibility weighing on your shoulders, right? Compression of the cervical vertebrae. Hala again, why is that? Because there's chronic muscle tension. That's one. Compression. When muscles tense up, they contract. That's the first thing. Then it contracts, blood supply is disrupted, nutrition is affected, right? Liquor dynamics. So this vertebra is no longer being supplied properly, and degenerative changes start to happen there. Well, if you weren't fed for a week, what would happen to you, right? There would be changes too. It's the same here, of course, with the vertebra. And when we're tense, afraid, anxious, all of that, you just want to hide, to close yourself off. It's a reflex. That's how it works. If it's just for a day, a week, or even a month, nothing terrible will happen to you. But if you live like that for years, that's what we end up seeing. That's exactly what we see, right? Plus, the cervical vertebra is also about intellect, where I've devalued myself intellectually, thinking I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I couldn't handle it. And let's put it this way, these are the things you need to look into. Right now, I've lost the word I wanted to say about the neck. Well, let's just say, the word slipped my mind. I can't handle it. I've lost my value, so to speak. About the swallowing problem. It could be a blockage in the temporomandibular joint, and it can feel like a lump in the throat. Why? This whole area is blocked. There's some kind of resentment I'm not accepting, right? There's some kind of chunk conflict, and that's why the spasm happens. That's this feeling that I can't swallow. Maybe I can't even breathe, right? Oksanaka writes, thank you. Yes, he worked through it, he really did. I know, you're so smart. Oksana, good for you. She studied with me. She came, solved her health issues, and got her diploma. Now she's already helping people, and she already had a profession, and now she's become a real magician. Well done, smart girl. Okay. My eyesight has gotten worse. That's a really relevant topic. By the way, who here has problems with their eyesight? Write in the chat. So look, your eyesight has gotten worse. The first thing you need to think about, after what did my eyesight get worse? What was happening in my life at that time, after which I can't see normally anymore? So look, imagine there's some dirty image in front of you. I don't know what dirty means to you. It's different for everyone. And you can just remove that image from your life. But now imagine you can't. You see it every day. After a while, your eyesight will start to get worse. Why? It's biological. When we can't handle something psychologically, that's when our biology steps in. Our body helps us out. That's why eyesight doesn't just get worse for no reason, right? Well, obviously, if you're 80 years old and your vision goes bad, well, that's probably nothing to worry about. It's just declining. But if you're only 30, 40, 50, well, that's still a bit early, right? Yeah. So, what caused this to happen? And what's the point of it? And very often, people will come to a webinar like this, listen in and say, oh, I get it now. Nothing changes. And then a year later they come back. Vadym, it's still the same or even worse. My glasses are even stronger now. Yes, I'm telling you about examples and some processes here. But just understanding isn't enough. You need to actually work through it. Otherwise, Vadym wouldn't have written a program that lasts 7 months. You don't necessarily need 7 months. You should at least start with the basics, with the first month to begin working on yourself. So, wherever your vision is declining, ask yourself what you don't want to see and where there's some kind of fear that something might happen in the future. Right. And you know what else? There was a time when my vision really started to get worse, and I got scared. Damn, I'll have to wear glasses, and I don't want to wear glasses. And honestly, I'm scared to have any kind of eye surgery. And what will my followers say? Vadym, how come you've gone blind? Aren't you supposed to be into psychosomatics? And I got hit with all these kinds of fears. And my vision, well, it just kept getting even worse. But then I had a talk with myself. I said, screw it. As they say, who cares? If I need to, I'll wear glasses. I'll find some nice ones. If I need to, I'll get eye surgery without a second thought. And honestly, I have no problem with it at all. That's how I talked to myself, made a deal, let it go, and my vision came back. I mean, I literally couldn't even watch TV. You know, however far we usually sit from the TV. Like, what, 5 feet or so? I don't even know, and everything would just blur out like that, and my eyes would start to sting really badly. And after I talked to myself and worked through it, now I can watch TV just fine. No problems at all. Maybe my example will help someone, right? Allah, good job. Really well done. So, Allah, share with us how you're dealing with your state now. Now, do you understand every emotion, what it's for, and why a neurotic one is different from a normal one? So, it's a skill, right? Valentina, good job. Really well done. So, is everything clear about the vision? Irina, does any of this resonate with you? All right. Atopic dermatitis appeared in adulthood. It's been many years now, localized on the face and hands. What does that mean? Why the face? Thank you. And the hands don't bother you. That's how you wrote it. Well, of course, girls always focus on the face first, but hands aren't good either. Look, atopic dermatitis. Here, it depends on the depth, of course. But let's put it this way. There are 2 main points. It's a separation conflict. When I lost contact with a loved one, someone important and significant, or when I'm under pressure, there's this conflict of dirt, pressure, attack, or threat. But in your case, I think it's still about contact with a loved, significant person. Maybe you lost contact with yourself, you were loved, you could do whatever you wanted. And then, bam! You have a photo there with a man. Oh, no. Actually, there's no man in your photo. From a distance, it looked to me like you were hugging a man. Well, it doesn't matter. Some kind of separation happened. See, that's my brain fitting things into the stories I wanted to tell. And a breakup with a man. Maybe you had a fight with your loved one, broke up, or he left, or you're still together, but there's some kind of conflict where you feel lonely, abandoned, like an important person has left. Or maybe I betrayed myself in some way. Or maybe, yes, even grief. Someone is gone. And after that, well, the skin reacts. Why the face? The face, it's the same conflict of separation, but it's also tied to self-esteem. Why is that? Because I present myself to the world, right? That's where something got lost. What is this about? What resonates with you? But I think there's probably a man involved in your breakup. What do you think? With whom was it? With your father, yes, or with a loved man? Who did you lose contact with? Yes. Right, immediately. So. Compression of the left half of the body, pain and numbness in the left side. Hips. Buckets said the hips. Triple. Well, that's a lot. Compression of the left half of the body, what does compression mean? I don't understand. Pain and numbness in the left thigh. But pain and numbness in the left thigh can be a result of pinching in the lumbar region. It would make sense. If you've seen a neurologist or a body osteopath even once, they should have unlocked that for you, and you would have felt better right away if it was some kind of root syndrome. But if you went and it didn't get any better, or no one there could help, then we can assume that psychosomatics are involved here, right? In other words, my body is trying to tell me something. What is numbness? Numbness. There are two states here. The first is when I want to do something, but I can't. It's that inner tension to take some step, to do something. The second point is when I'm afraid I won't make it in time. That is, I need to hurry. I'm afraid I won't manage to take that step in the right direction. These are the moments you need to explore. I can't heal my piriformis muscle. What's the psychosomatic cause of that? Why did you decide that you have a problem with your piriformis muscle? Just because it's always tense doesn't necessarily mean the problem is with it. This is also a very important point. Olechka, please write why you gave yourself this diagnosis, or who gave it to you. Why do you think so? This is a very important point, because sometimes someone comes in and says, "Oh, I have a problem with this." And how do you know? Another specialist told me. So why didn't he cure you? Well, he just can't. Then maybe the problem is somewhere else? Right. Why do you say things like that? The piriformis muscle. Why do you immediately? Pirifor. Well, the piriformis muscle has its own psychosomatic aspects. But I'm just curious. Why are you asking about this? And it would be better if you described your symptoms. So, Lucy Bonita. I like your name. Lucy Bonita. Bonita. Left hip, coxarthrosis. What could be the causes? Left hip, coxarthrosis. So, there are changes happening in the joint, and it's been going on for quite a while. The first thing I would pay attention to is a sense of powerlessness when it comes to movement. I want to do something, but I can't. Someone forbids me, or I forbid myself. I don't allow myself. So, that's the first kind of powerlessness. Like, I don't know, maybe my husband makes me do something, or life forces me to do something, and I don't want to, but I do it anyway, right? This is the first point, related to movement that is forbidden. I don't want to do it, yeah, but I do it anyway. Or I want to do it, but I'm not allowed. The second point is that, since the hip joints are connected to the closing off of, the internal organs, there are also sexual conflicts, where I was devalued, scolded, basically treated badly. Yeah, something was done to me. But it seems to me that for you, it's more about moving forward. So, there was some kind of violence there, and now there's a prohibition on spreading your legs. That really resonates. Lucy Bonita, please write specifically what resonates with you. Understand, when you write things out, your thoughts start to unravel. What is the step? Who's putting on the pressure? What's being forbidden, right? The doctor's determined. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Olechka. What are the symptoms? The symptoms. There's some redness on the left eyelid. So look on the left eyelid. What is an eyelid anyway? It's connected to the eyes, so that's where the conflict will be, and the separation, and seeing something. Like, I saw something, and now I really regret it. Regret what I saw. So, in your case, I'd use this metaphor. Regret over what was seen, right? Yes. Allah, thank you. Yes. All right, friends, thank you for today's broadcast. Yes, our time is almost up. If you have, so, how did you find today's broadcast? What was the most useful thing for you today? What thought are you leaving with today? Write it down. Haha, both of those resonated with you. See, look, Lucy Bonita. It's great that it resonated with you. Now you need to work through it. Just having the thought won't help. And sometimes, even when we just take action, it doesn't turn off the program. You need to work through your feelings. That's very important. So come and work on it. You can do it. While your body still has the resources, it can be fixed, yes. In which module can I work on excess weight? Albina, to work through excess weight, I recommend starting with the basics, because you need to learn how to understand your feelings. Otherwise, you won't be able to do it. There's a lot there. Shame, guilt, all those resentments, and even the prenatal period. We work through all of that. Family lineage, of course. There's always a lot of family influence in excess weight, because these are our childhood defense mechanisms in the body's system, especially the skin. For the skin, I actually give specific techniques for working with excess weight. Yes. You need to take care of your mental health. Of course, because your mental health, Olechka, is your physical health. Right. Yes. Antonina writes, you didn't get an answer, but that means I missed it. I must not have seen your question. Yes. I'll check later and answer. Now, if we're talking about varicose veins are, again, about not being able to get rid of something dirty, something heavy or unpleasant in your life. Right. So again, here it's a kind of helplessness to let go. And this is often connected to the family line. Yes. You're on the annual program, Albin. But if you're on the annual program, you go through all the modules, including the context of excess weight. Did I get that right? So first, in the basics, you learn to analyze your own state. You work through the prenatal period, and with regression you already start working on your excess weight, right? With parts work, you address your excess weight, harmonizing the masculine and feminine energies. All of that works. So look, do you think your problem is that you have excess weight? No. Your problem is that you don't listen to yourself. There are defense mechanisms, and it just shows up for you as excess weight. You don't feel safe. You protect yourself from the outside world. It's dangerous for you to show yourself. There's a sexual blockage. And don't say that's not true. Most likely, all of this is present. There are unresolved griefs and losses, and for you, it just manifests as excess weight. For some people, it's the opposite, thinness. For others, it's skin conditions, and for some, it's autoimmune diseases. So the focus shouldn't be on the excess weight, but on yourself. But we do the practices through the issue of excess weight. Is that clear, what I just explained? Alright, let me answer one more, okay. So Ruslan writes, I've seen this too. I missed it. A lump, like a screw, twisted in the middle of the stomach, above the navel, jaw clenched. Right. Well, what is this lump? Isn't that an emotional knot? So, is it the gastrointestinal tract? What is it? Most likely, Ruslan. It's some kind of fear plus resentment that's blocked there. So, I'm both scared and hurt. I don't accept it. I can't digest it. I don't agree with it. But at the same time, a basic need is affected. I don't feel safe. You see? That's why you need to learn how to work with your feelings. You need to unload the state. Because your body is already screaming. It can't handle it anymore. And this knot isn't the only problem you have. This already shows that the body can't cope on its own. That's it. Friends, thank you. Once again, I want to remind you all about the special offer that's only available until the 10th. After that, it will be closed. Okay? You can join my training programs on the best terms. You have the link. Go check it out. Talk to the girls. It's absolutely free. They'll tell you exactly which practices and which lessons you need to do based on your request. And there will be a combo that I usually don't offer anywhere else. Thank you.